Welcome back to Rules of Engagement, guys. Sorry there was a little bit of a technical issue and the stream went down for a second. We're just talking about Dark Templar Rush and Heart of the Swarm PvP. We'll get right back into the game, right where we left off. So right here we're at a situation where Shu executed the Dark Templar Rush. His opponent went in Robo and has been able to hold it just fine. He tries to go up the ramp with Zealot Archons, but his opponent has enough units and he's held back. And now he's at somewhat of a disadvantage. Not a crippling one, but he's at somewhat of a disadvantage. So now is that part where he wants to transition. So transitioning in a Heart of the Swarm is going to be a little bit different because the Stargate units, now the Oracle has this ability called Envision. And so you can afford to delay a Robo because even if your opponent has Cloak, as long as you have a Stargate and an Oracle, you can use those Oracles to see your opponent's Dark Templar. It's also easier to transition to Dark Templar from a Stargate because that Dark Shrine costs less gas. So basically, the Stargate ability to detect and the Dark Shrine's cheaper cost makes you able to have a much larger variety of transitions in Heart of the Swarm and PvP that are less risky. Before, if you went to the Dark Templar Shrine, your DTs didn't do damage, you'd be too far behind in tech because of that gas investment. If you go to Stargate and your opponent has cloaked units, you're in trouble because you have no detection. So now there's a little bit more options as far as transitioning. You can go without the Robo for a little bit longer. And that's what Shu is utilizing here. When he scouted his opponent, saw his opponent didn't immediately have Dark Templar, so he knew he would be okay going straight to the Stargate. He also knew his opponent had no Stargate, so he wouldn't have to worry about Phoenixes countering his Oracles. Now, in this Oracle harass, one thing that we'll note is that PvP is like every other matchup, basically, where Oracles, if there's nothing that defends the base, an Oracle just absolutely destroys everything. I mean, look at these probes go down. Like, it's been 5 seconds, all the probes go down. Trying to warp in Stalkers reactively is just like it is versus Mutas or Banshees. The Stalkers will get killed before they can even really warp in, and they're not going to be very effective. So Oracles are always your go-to Protoss harass against anybody who doesn't have established pre-set up defense. They're either some units waiting, or a cannon, or a missile turret, or something like that. Oracles do devastating damage and are very, very powerful in Heart of Swarm, even against other Protoss. We can see here, Eddie's there's 19 kills. 2 of those were Stalkers. The other 17 were drones, or probes, excuse me. And basically, the other Protoss has to now kill him. Now, he's in a situation where he's facing a one-base Colossal and a very strong army. He has mostly Zealots, which aren't going to cut it, as his opponent has plenty of their own Zealots. Zealots can actually do okay against Colossi Immortal Stalker, but they cannot do okay if his opponent also has their own Zealots to get in the way, especially to go up to Archon. So Shu has to really back up and utilize more different Stargate units to help defend us. Time Warp's a great idea, but then all of a sudden, he turns around and tries to hold this straight up, when really, he should just pull the probes units. There he goes, finally retreating. Oh, nope, deciding again to suicide more units. So, a couple of mistakes here, just trying to defend a base that can't really be defended. We'd have been better off saving this Mothership energy to use it on this Nexus and defend the main.